This is the electric motor of a very old cordless electric drill that used to run on around 7 volts. And we had to file a little bit off of this shaft because we wanted to press fit something on here. And what we put on there was this piece of brass. It was a 7/8 OD bar of brass, and we cut off a piece about 3/8 of an inch thick. And we drilled a hole in it that was offset. Not so much that when the shaft turned that the brass would actually come out beyond the maximum outside diameter of the motor here, but almost. And we wanted the maximum imbalanced situation is what we were after. So there is the motor now with the brass piece with the offset mounted on it. Now this is just a picture of the fixture that I used to assemble the base, which has magnets in it, and we wanted to hold the magnets in place until the glue set. Here's the blasting cabinet with a wireless remote switch. This switch is just held in place by magnets and could go anywhere that you want. And I use it to turn the vibrator on and off. It's easy to get at that way. Here is the final resting place of the vibrator. I had moved it from the side over to the front, and I had put this weather stripping around its position, and I'll explain that a little later on. Okay, here's what we've done so far. We've taken the diameter of this. You know the diameter. Yours will be different, probably a different electric motor. And we have created a sleeve that this is going to press fit into. So it's a fairly tight little fit here, but as you can see, it's already going, so it's going to go in there just fine. Now at the end of here, we have left a section here that is about a 1/2 inch on board, so this will not go all the way through when we put it in. That's going to be a stop. So it's going to go in about this far. So the whole moving parts section and motor is going to be encased in this tube. That'll protect us from this thing spinning around and perhaps coming off and damaging something. Now this, we drilled a hole in it which is about 2,000 smaller than the end of the motor shaft here, and we pressed that on. This is brass. And what we don't want is this to be sticking out any farther than the outside diameter of here, because it's going to hit this tubing if it does. So once we've got that, then this is our base, and our tubing is going to sit on the base like so. And I'm going to use some aluminum welding rod to put that on there. Now before we do that welding, we have to make sure we have the pockets for the magnets in place. There are 2 pockets here. I have a magnet already in this one. And the magnet is sitting just a little bit below surface here. So what we need to do is try to get it as flush with the surface as possible. And we're going to put glue in here, epoxy glue. Put the magnet down on top of it. And let's see if we can't get the camera down a little bit here so we can show you on the workbench what we're going to do here. The glue is in here. We're going to put the magnets in here. Then we're going to take some wax paper after both magnets are in and the glue is in, and put it on top. And then on top of the wax paper, we're going to take a flat bar and put it on here. That will draw the magnets up to the top to within 1/1000th of the top, which is just about where we'd like to have them. And there's no danger of this glue seeping out the side and getting onto this bar, because the wax paper is in the way, and the wax paper will be easier to remove than the bar would be if it got stuck. So that's where we are so far. Well, here is the finished product. This is only the second time that I've tried aluminum welding. Actually, it stuck pretty good, but it doesn't look very neat. Anyway, there's everything inside. On this end, we had a couple of contacts like on here, and we soldered some wires onto there after passing them through this soft plastic cap that I had found that I just pushed into the hole, and it's holding fairly tightly there. So all that remains now is to give it a try. Oh, be careful where you put this down. It sucks everything that's metallic towards it. Alright, we've got the vibrator attached to the underside of the hopper here. The wire that goes from the vibrator goes behind the sandblaster, and it plugs into a plug back there, but I also have it plugged into a module that's a wireless module that's connected to this switch. So it's handy to turn on and off. Let's take a look inside. We can see the blasting material on there, and we're about to turn it on and watch what happens. So what was happening was, after I turned this on, it seems to have a mind of its own and just wanders all over the place. So I took some weather stripping, like the stuff we're looking at here, and I made a home for it down here. So now it can fit, let me grab a hold of it here, it can fit right in there, and when I turn it on, that keeps it there. This is really shaking here. Doing a fine job. This is the plug-in power supply that I used. I tried it on a 9-volt power supply also, and it worked, but I chose to use the 7.5 volt because it had a 1 amp rating. I have no idea how much the motor draws. It's not identified in any way. Just tried it out and it seemed to run okay with no overheating. In the comments below, I'll put a link to the source that I used for the magnets. So check out the comments for that link. If you'd like to be notified of other new modifications, please click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.